What do you get when you combine
everything?
Perfect.
The finals
is one of the freshest, most fun FPSs I've played in a long time, and I hate it. Don't worry, I'm not going to do that for the whole video. I wanted to do an AI voice thing at the beginning to like emphasize a point about how genuinely weird it is, but I think the point got across, but I'm kind of up my own ass and I want this to end. FPSs right now have been filled with your Battle Royales, Fortnite, Warzone, Apex, your pseudo milsims, Call of Duty, Battlefield, and I guess you can count Rainbow Six Siege as well. Your arena shooters like Halo. And then I guess you can also do Splitgate, but I don't really know anyone else that plays that game or did play that game. I think it only peaked for like a couple weeks. COVID was weird. And then you take all those aspects like the destruction of Battlefield, the speed of Call of Duty, the movement of Apex and Titanfall, and the overall arena style setup of Halo, and you merge them all together, and quite frankly, you'd get the finals. Developed by Embark Studios, who was founded by a good amount of former DICE members, the team responsible for Battlefield, Mirror's Edge, Star Wars Battlefront, well, the new Battlefront, and well, it really shows. The overall game can be described like this. You're in a dystopian future where esports is played well by players shooting each other. And it's like a projected version. They're using like VR goggles, and it's a full sports thing. Like, this is an event, this is a Super Bowl, and it sells that appeal really well by constantly mentioning sponsors and having announcers going through. Don't worry, we're gonna talk about the announcers later. Essentially, imagine the Hunger Games, except not shitty. In game, you can choose between one of 3 classes per match: light, medium, and heavy. Your light class is your basic full glass cannon filled with sniper rifles, SMGs, tasers, and a bunch of mobility options ranging from a grapple hook, dash straight from Overwatch, and the ability to go invisible, which is fucking horseshit. And it encourages a very offensive playstyle with a very slippery and annoying attitude. It's their job to be annoying, and their kit really reflects that. Then you have the medium class, which is your all-around class mixed with some shotguns, explosives, but mostly like your AKs and your FCAR. And they're usually based around a support class because of the healing beam, the defibrillator that gets rid of the revive time in an instant by just zapping it, but it's on a cooldown, a zip line that allows you to get around the map faster, and a jump pad that allows you to reach the tops of buildings, and occasionally the stratosphere if there's 0 gravity on and you're a light class. Oh, and of course that stupid fucking turret. Please, I don't want to run into a room with 5 turrets. I'm sorry. Lastly, there's the all-around Giga Chad and the best class in the game. No bias, by the way. Known as the Heavy. Oh. Which can break nearly everything and anything on the map with its shoulder charge, C4, and RPG. And although they have their medium to long range weapons such as the Lewis gun and the M60, you're mostly going to see them run around with a shield and a shotgun and maybe even a flamethrower if you want, but most people are going to use the shotgun. As of right now, there are about 2 main game modes, Quick Cash and Bank It. Bank It is like a good deathmatch warm-up session where you and your teammates will go around and kill people, and they'll drop coins, and you will be able to pick them up and deposit them in little stations, and the first team to about, I believe it's like 10,000 coins. No, actually maybe 15,000. Well, the first team to hit the cap on it win the match. This game mode definitely encourages a much faster playstyle, so you're going to see a lot more lights in this class, and even though they're really easy to kill relatively, they're very slippery, and they're always going to rush you down with a sword, a knife, something like that. So have fun, but, you know, you're always going to have to play insanely offensively or have like the best defense set up when you need it, because the points are always moving and you just always need to keep going. The real cream of the crop, however, is quick cash and tournament. For you see, Battlefield Bad Company introduced a game mode called Rush, where essentially you have one team defending and the other team pushing, where you have to like hold a point and explode the section so you can constantly keep pushing the map. Now they took this and cleaned it up and made it a lot better. So now imagine there are 3 teams, 4 if you do tournament, and you all run around the map. You collect a coin box and take it to another cash out station. And you have to hold the cash out station for a certain period of time, and eventually you will, well, cash out. You can blow up the floor. Other people can steal it at the last second for the win. You can blow up the floor underneath the cash out to prevent them from stealing it, or you can gas it up. You can do so many other defensive options just to set up and allow like you to hold this as long as possible. And when you have 3 teams rushing a point at the same time, it allows for so much chaos. And this is where the team dynamic and all the different classes have their strength. You're able to have the light run around and get some picks. You're able to have the medium set up a bunch of gas grenades, your turrets, and all that. And you can even have the heavy set up so much explosives just to create a larger mess, and even your shoulder charge just to take down the building around it, and always have to create these new situations to adapt. You have to adapt the point to whatever you need to win or steal the point. Overall, this is a very simple analysis of the gameplay loop, and there are so many like subtle things that kind of break the game, but not really. Like there are players that are able to attach turrets. When you're a medium class, you can like attach a turret to anything, but you can attach it to a chair or any other object and run around with it, or set it up in very weird areas like a free gun. And although they're annoying to kill, the damage, unless you're a light class, isn't too crazy. And I know some people can put it under the ground. I'm not sure if that's patched yet, but you can do that as well. You can attach a bunch of C4s to like a gas canister, throw it at players for a literal war crime. You can stand on top of one of the explosive canisters and launch yourself off the side of a building like a little rocket to get from one point to another a lot faster. Like there's so much player freedom in this game that really just makes every match kind of different and fresh every time. I'm pretty sure once you hit like the upper ranks, like the top 5% of players, you're always going to hit that meta lock, but there's always going to be something new and creative that players are going to discover. A little dev theory for behind the scenes, by the way. Because of how relatively simple the geometry and the environment are and how destructive everything is, I'm pretty sure they had to model everything in Houdini. And I know there's a bunch of like Houdini to Unreal tricks and tips you can do, where essentially you give everything full physics like mass, velocity, and destruction, so it allows so much shenanigans and like physics breaking bullshit that you would do in Gmod or Tears of the Kingdoms. That's part of the charm. It allows for so much in this really cool procedural way. I'm not really smart enough to go in depth about it, so this is the point where I would like Slack or DM my local tech artist, because I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. Oh, and I haven't even talked about tournament mode. You essentially have 3 rounds of quick cash with 4 teams instead of 3, and 2 cash out locations instead of the 1. Along with not being capped out at just 2 cash-ins, you can really push to see who's like dominating the match, and it allows for more players to make a comeback. For you see, with every cash out that is turned in, the cash itself is a bigger goal. Like the first one is about 10k, then it's 12, and the last couple are always like around 22,000. So it always incentivizes players to constantly fight, push objectives, and not just give up after you lose the first one, because you can always come back. Even with the final steal at the very end, you at least probably get second place, unless you're just straight being dominated, but skill issue, whatever. And it all culminates in the last round, where the top 2 teams face up in a 1v1, where the first to 2 cash outs win the tournament. And I need to talk about this real quick. Me and a couple of my buddies were running a fairly simple team comp, double medium and a heavy. One had a healing beam, one had a recon, and I was the heavy with the shielded shotgun and a flamethrower. You can like switch between matches, but you have to have like a custom loadout per thing, whatever. We were fighting throughout the whole tournament, and pushing every objective and barely making it by the skin of our teeth. It was a rough entire game until we finally make it to the finals. And our enemy team was a double medium and a light class. And for the record, nearly everyone outranges me. The shotgun barely has a range, and if you're a flamethrower and I'm not like kissing you, it does nothing. So essentially my friends are doing a 2v3 with this big hunk of shield nearby, unless we were just all in the same room. We get fucking demolished on the first point. We couldn't even contest. Both the mediums had recon, which essentially allows the player and the team to see all players on the map. It's kind of busted. I'm not sure what the range is on it, but it's strong. And one of them had a sniper. So if we just showed our head, I would get mowed down. My friends would get mowed down. It's just not a great time. We go for the second cash point, and my two teammates wiped. I made a make or break call and just ran, grabbed the cash, and took it to one of the cash out locations that was inside a building. So no matter what, they would have to come in and fight me. And that's where I can actually do something. I only had one goal for it. It's just to hold out the team that was rushing me and just wait until my teammates can respawn. And God, I was sweating. I was fighting for my life. I was holding every objective. I was blowing up the wall. It was bad. I was screaming. And by the skin of my teeth, I killed two, and my teammates just happen to come back and I die. We get the point back. We're good. It's a 1v1. I'm sweating. My cat is yelling at me to play, but she respects me enough because I'm in the zone. We kill two of them. We take the extra cash point. We run to the cash out. As we're running through, we see the only point is a half mixed open and half closed space. So we shield and hold the line as long as possible. We start planting explosive all throughout the building, and we're just ready for them to rush us. One of my friends dies as the other grabs their statue to res. I shotgun one of the enemies down and I throw down a bubble shield just so we can hold out while they're getting res. We get rushed, I die, and the newly res teammate kills the other, picks me up, we rush, we kill the final guy, and win the tournament that we were fighting so hard for the entire time. And I screamed so loud. I was so happy. It was so hype. And I haven't felt that like insane rush and enjoyment of gameplay in a very long time. And it was all ruined when we noticed that some of the fucking stickers look really weirdly AI generated. For you see, the finals is very much and validly under fire and critiqued for the use of AI voiceovers. And all, as you can tell just by playing the game, all the announcers are them and they do not sound great.
Welcome to Quick Cash, the team that tucks away enough money first triumphs.
Scotty said it. Let's see who's got the pace to ace this race. We've got our first elimination, Scotty. Talk about making a solid first impression on our sponsors.
Hold on to your Azult bucket hats, brought to you by Azult.
Although, like, they said they took the voices from actors who gave consent, a couple of the studio people that were in it, they were used as the baseline for these announcers, just use text-to-speech. It's still really shitty, and it's not great. It's not at all. But in the mindset of everything, it's like, okay, they gave consent. I guess you can kind of forgive it. However, I think it's terrible and it doesn't sound great. However, AI art is a whole other issue. For you see, whether it's from Midjourney or any of the other big AI generation sites, a lot of those styles and anything you type in is scraped from pre-existing art on the internet. And 99% of the time, it is stolen from the actual artist without any form of consent, which is
terrible.
Now, we're only going off the theory of how the art looks and a lot of the skins too. It's tiled weirdly. I'm not sure why some of the stuff is there, but whatever. But it's not 100% confirmed, but it can be sussed out due to the fact that the head of research and development at Embark posts Midjourney stuff all the time. And since the studio already uses AI for voice actors, why wouldn't they cut costs and literally do nothing and just get images from Midjourney and put them in the game? why not? Why wouldn't they use them? They're so cheap and it's basically stolen and no one can really prove it. Or maybe they're just so committed to the dystopian clean art style that even though the stickers look so AI and capitalistically generated, it just works with the whole game, I guess. This is why I really wanted to talk about the game too. I love everything about the gameplay. It's fast, it's smooth, it encourages combat and always wanting to push fights. And it's so genuinely fun because unlike some games that I've played a lot of, just because you lose a game doesn't mean you have to wait the full 30 minutes to start a new one. You can be in a new match so quickly, and it's nice. It's not like a battle royale. It's not anything like that. But the AI shit, the menu system, the UX is like really annoying. Why do I need to go to 2 menus just to change something on a gun? Why would I do that? That's silly. Like, if I purchase a gun on one screen, why can't I just put it on there anyway? It's... Even though the game is a breath of fresh air, the AI stuff really shits on the fresh air and just leaves an insanely bad taste in my mouth. I'm not going to tell anyone to stop playing this game because it is a fun fucking game. I think I have like 80 hours logged in at this point, but it is so... I think I'm going to have to stop playing it until they clean up their act, because speaking with your wallet is more powerful than anything. And it feels bad. It just sucks.